And welcome back here to the Georgetown Ice Center in the East Rink. Grand Valley pulls one back. They win that second period 1-0, but they're still down on the scoreboard 2-1 through 2 periods of play. Zach DeBozart, AJ Bedard alongside with you here for this action here on Senior Day. And AJ, talk about what you saw so far in that second period.
Well, I have to say, the aggression that the Lakers had has been phenomenal. We've seen a lot of different breakaways from a slap shot from Alicia Day. We've seen breakaways from Matthew and Allison Lau, and we've seen a lot of great defensive shots, especially from Lauren Ivesil, who got that first goal for the Lakers to make it 1-2 in the middle of the second period. Her second goal for the season. The amount of effort that the Lakers are putting on, it might be, like we said earlier, Senior Day, go all out for this thing. It might be that. It might just be that it's at Michigan State, and they have this kind of rivalry with them after the loss and a tie earlier last semester in October and November. But, when you look at it in one way, you have to say that these girls are going for it. They're looking for that win. They're not giving up anything.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to motivate these two teams to play one another so far. We've been seeing the outcome of an absolutely great game so far in this one. Michigan State got 2 goals in that first period from Cross and Scaturo, and Lauren Ivesil got one back, as you mentioned, AJ, on the power play in the middle frame. And that's what makes it stand at 2-1. And you knew this game was going to be good because these teams right next to each other in points percentage. Michigan State at 10th, Grand Valley at 11th. Grand Valley's ranked 6th in the nation right now. Michigan State 9th, so they're on the outside looking in, so they're going to be hungry. And that was one thing that we saw last year near this time. The Grand Valley was playing teams that were right on the border along with themselves, it was like a playoff do-or-die mentality. And we're seeing that here. This is definitely a playoff game between these two teams.
Absolutely, like you said, they're both pretty close, especially when Michigan State has 13 points in the CCWHA standings, while the Grand Valley State University Lakers has 14. Like we said, they're both pretty evenly matched, and we're seeing that right now. So many turnovers. It's almost, I can't imagine what you're going through, seeing every puck hit is in somebody else's stick.
Yeah, it's been pretty back and forth action between these two teams, and it's resulted in a very entertaining game. And through 2 periods, the scoreline certainly indicates that the home team down 2-1. Let's shift gears and talk about the CCWHA though. We do know the 6 teams that will be competing in the tournament at Flint. They are going to be in the particular order of the CCWHA standings right now: Miami, Michigan, Grand Valley, Adrian, Michigan State, and Robert Morris. Davenport was knocked out Thursday night, when they lost to Adrian. And Davenport now does not have the points possible to make it up to 6th place. Now, what's interesting is when you look at the points, you mentioned Grand Valley and Michigan State are so close. Miami is really the undisputed number 1. They're 9-0-1. They got 4 games left to play. They're more than likely going to hold that number 1 seed. The top 2 seeds, though, get byes from the first round of games. And Michigan and Grand Valley are tied at 14. Michigan has 2 games in hand on the Lakers. Adrian and Michigan State are tied at 13 points. Adrian has 1 game up on Michigan State. Both Michigan State and Grand Valley sit at 12 points. And in the grand scheme of things, this game doesn't count towards the CCWHA standings because Michigan State and Grand Valley already played each other in the season. So this is going to be a helter-skelter race here in games 13 and 14 for every team to see where they fall. You could be as high as 2 or as low as 5 when it comes time to start the tournament in Flint.
I was dazed a bit there. There were so many numbers thrown at me for a second there, but I got the gist of it.
Yeah, it's very close. That's all you really need to know.
Absolutely.
It's very close.
Especially when we're going into next week with University of Michigan and Grand Valley. I know we talked about this a little bit more. It's do or die for that. Well, while both teams have 14 points in the CCWHA standing, so next week, along with this week, is going to be very hectic for these ladies, especially tomorrow when they go back to Michigan State University in East Lansing. That's going to be pretty interesting for them on the Spartans turf. See if they can get a win on them there.
Yeah, this game is the beginning of a home-and-home series. They will play tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. in East Lansing in the Munn Ice Arena. We'll be there for that game here, but we still got 20 minutes left to play in this one. It's Michigan State 2 and Grand Valley 1. Quick peek at your out-of-town scoreboard. Earlier today, games in the East Coast started up. Vermont, who sits at number 15, was in Kingston, Rhode Island against the number 7 Rhode Island Rams, and Rhode Island has dropped quite a bit. They were contending in the top 3 earlier in the year for rankings. Now they've fallen all the way to 7th. They're in danger. They're on that bubble too. And it's been really an upstart Penn State team that's been taking their place in the East Coast. as a dominant team. Navy is at number 2, Liberty. Adrian is at Davenport to finish out their series. We mentioned Adrian beat the Panthers on Thursday, and that's what knocked Davenport out of the running for the CCWHA tournament. That's number 4 playing number 13. Number 14, Lindenwood, is at Wisconsin. Number 10, Colorado State, is at number 3, UMass. And number 5, Michigan, is in Chicago to play number 12, Robert Morris. That's the game that Laker fans are going to be watching, because if Robert Morris can come away with some wins, that means University of Michigan and Grand Valley State will be tied on points at 14 heading into their finale. And Ohio State is in Oxford to take on the number 1 Miami of Ohio Redhawks. So that's your out-of-town scoreboard. Zambonis are off, referees are on, and the teams are just about due out. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, third period of play here between the Spartans and the Lakers. Stick around. You are listening to Grand Valley State Women's Hockey here on Ustream.tv, a partnership with WCKS The Whale, Grand Valley State's only student-run radio station.